Good morning. Hi, everybody. Let's take a look and make sure that we're live. We're going to hop over to YouTube. We're going to make sure that all the technology is working the way it's supposed to work on a Monday morning, because you just never know. It says I'm live. Am I live? Drink coffee. Did you guys have a good weekend? Fabulous. There we are, live on the interwebs. Welcome to the studio, everybody. Let's talk about what these kids are learning in classes, shall we? I've got a couple pages of notes. When we get to housekeeping at the end, we're going to talk about those registration links that go out today, okay? It is week 3 of November, and everybody has class this week. This is going to be the last week in November that I get to say this, because next week looks a little funky, and we'll talk about that. But everybody's going to come to class this week. And we've got, with our multimedia classes, we're going to try to wrap up those projects. It is not like super serious that we do, but that is our goal. They should take their projects home this week when they come to class. If they don't, it's a-okay. We'll get it done either in the open studios on Thanksgiving week, or if you're not going to be here for open studio, we'll get it done during a makeup session. Okay. But this will be like the goal benchmark for those multimedia classes. If you're in a 103 drawing class, same thing. Our goal will be to finish their project this week, get it matted, and send it home with you. So that way we've got time in those open studios just to play. If for some reason you don't, like, and there can be lots of reasons why you might not, that's okay. We'll either get it done during those open studios, or we can always do a makeup. Okay. All right. Let's go through the slideshow. So it is Preschool Fundamentals, talking about pattern ink and the art of Henry Matisse. This will be our last week of November classes for all of our preschoolers. You will not have class the week of Thanksgiving. So this week, normal classes, but next week, fundamentals classes have wrapped, because remember, it's a 3-time-a-month class. So you will not have class over Thanksgiving week. When we get to housekeeping and we talk about Thanksgiving week open studios, they're not talking about you guys. You will be done after this week. We got some pictures here of our artists. These artists here are doing some pattern drawing and exploration for an arrival activity. And then this is one of our creative play stations where we've got the Henry Matisse shape mural, and we're just painting it and exploring it that way. In our last class of the month, we'll read Brown Bear, which is a book illustrated and written by Eric Carle. We love his illustrations, especially as a tie-in to Henry Matisse, because they both were painted paper collage artists. We also love Eric Carle because his subject matter for a lot of his art is animals, and that's a favorite for our preschoolers. So we will get to paint papers and make textured painted papers, and then we'll collage, not the ones that I actually made because those will be wet and goopy, but some of the ones that we have in the studio. We always have painted paper in the studio, you guys. We'll have that for collaging. For our K-3 multimedia classes, we're doing these like big poster size animals out of ink. We're using lots of different types of ink. We are using a Sumi ink, and then some different mark making tools. We've got brushes. I think both these artists are actually using brushes. We also have glass pens available to them, as well as straw nibs. So those are different mark making tools you can use with this ink. It's rich, it's buttery, it's really fun to draw with, and the kids are doing a great job of illustrating their animals. For a lot of them, they looked at photo references and broke it down into shape, so it was a great lesson for that. They've added some fun little pattern, and in this week's class, we're going to be adding color to it. And we're going to do that using ink, and we're going to use a different type of ink, not the Sumi ink. We'll use a washable, water-soluble marker. We're going to color it onto transparencies. And then we're going to hydrate it with some water and do a monoprinting technique. So we'll get to play with that. We'll do some practice before we actually get onto their actual animals, so that way they understand how abstract this may be. If we have any artists that are like, whoa, you're not touching my art with some abstract color, and they really are particular and they would like to color it with markers, we will let them do that. No, like, I don't want to mess with anybody's vision, but we are going to show them the technique. So hopefully they finish this week. Again, if they don't, it's okay. We will see them hopefully for open studios on the Thanksgiving week, and we can get working on it then. If they don't come to open studios, or they come to open studios and there's a lot of shiny things to play with and they still don't finish their art, we'll see you for a makeup. It's not a big deal. For our 4th and 5th and our homeschool multimedia classes, we are making contemporary travel posters. So think vintage travel posters, We're calling it contemporary because we're making it nowadays. So we've got these 9 by 12 sheets of mixed media paper that we're working on, and our media for the month is ink, but these guys specifically are using alcohol ink markers and learning how to layer those and blend those and color with those. They produce a really beautiful flat layer of color, which is great for travel posters because that is also a flat layer of color. So a lot of great illustration techniques going on here. It's a fun media like drawing tool that most times our multimedia kids don't get to use. Our drawing kids, if you're in an illustrative drawing class, you use these all the time. And we can definitely tell the kids in the 4th and 5th grade classes or the homeschool classes who have taken an illustrative drawing class with us because they are pros at the alcohol ink markers. But they're a fun medium. For a lot of our kids, I surveyed the staff during the staff meeting and I asked, like, where are we at on people finishing? Because this is a new project for us. So, I mean, I try to time it out, but we just kind of never know. And they said for the most part, they think, the instructors of these classes, that everybody's going to finish this week. There's a few exceptions to that. Maybe somebody that started over or somebody that, took a little bit longer to pick their subject or took a little bit longer to get their subject sketched out. They spent more time in the sketching stage. A-okay. If they finish, great. We're definitely not going to rush anybody. But we're hoping to get them matted and sent home with you this week. And then if for some reason you don't, that's okay. Hopefully we get you in the open studios in Thanksgiving week. We'll get it wrapped up. If you don't come to that because you're already traveling or out of town, then we'll see you for a makeup session to get that finished, okay? Also, as a reminder, especially with our older kids, if makeup sessions don't work for you, if you're like, Elson, I got other things going on Wednesday night or on Friday night, talk to us, especially with the older kids. They are so responsible and studious and amazing. For the most part, like, there's never a scenario where we're like not okay with them coming in and working during another class, right? So we're here in the studio 4 or 5 nights a week. If the makeup night doesn't work and they're into their project, like they just need work time, they don't really need us to like verbalize a lesson to them. They could come in maybe the class before theirs or on another night of the week when I've got a different class going on. They can just sit in the back and work and it's a-okay. All right. So just contact me here at Liberty or Sarah at Woods and we'll coordinate that. Okay. For our 6th, 7th, and our 8th, 12th multimedia kiddos, they are doing, you know what? I have a pile of artwork sitting over here that Miss Grace pulled for me. So when we finish this, I'm going to show you some of these. Totally, I'm just blowing through these, and I moved them off the desk because I have dangerous coffee sitting here, and I didn't want to spill it on anybody's artwork. That happens sometimes to me. I spill coffee, so I just wanted to be responsible. But then I forgot I had it, so I'm gonna show you some artwork in just a second. All right, our 6th, 7th, and our 8th, 12 multimedia kiddos, they are making these fuzzy creature illustrated drawings out of archival ink pens that we use the brand name. We call them microns. They come in different widths, different like they're graded out in math numbers, but they come in different widths and they're really fun to use. Again, another drawing medium that we use a lot in our drawing classes, but not as much in our multimedia classes. So it's fun to be able to bring those in. These guys have some very intricate and detailed drawings that they have created. They've crafted from composition, like from conception to composition to finishing it. So I think they'll be good. Again, I surveyed the team in the staff meeting on Friday and everybody was like, yeah, we'll finish, no problem. So we will get these finished up in classes this week. And then our goal is to get them matted and sent home with you this week. So that way in your open studios, we can just play and have fun. Or if you're out of town, it's not something you need to make up, all that fun stuff. All right, you guys want to look at some art? We're going to back it up just for fun. You ready? Okay, so I've got a couple examples. Miss Grace pulled these out of the closet for me because she's amazing. Look at that. I want this on my wall. This is amazing. This is Sumi ink. So this is all Sumi ink, no color. I don't even think this one used any Sharpies or anything, but it's amazing. All right, I got another one. Are you ready? I love the texture and the marks and the pattern and the composition, you guys. Look at how well this is laid out on the page. So good. All right. So we got these done. That's our K3 examples that we pulled. Let's see. I've got some 4th and 5th. Yeah, should we see those? Let's see. This is the first time I'm seeing them. So you know. I didn't look before I started the video. So this is, we got a reference image, okay? I'm gonna cover up the name just to be sure. And we got a reference image that we're working from. We trace some of the important lines just to identify them before drawing them on here. And then we've got the beginnings of our travel poster here. And then I think maybe I got one more. Oh, a same Eiffel Tower, it looks like. All right, so we've got our Eiffel Tower picture. This artist is a little bit further along. She's got the background. Oh, it's very green. Sorry, I'll turn it a little to the side so the green screen doesn't pick it up. Isn't that great? This one, really great composition. Look how the positive and negative space, so the negative space being the sky, the positive space being the Eiffel Tower. There's such great balance and symmetry going on in there. So harder than it looks, right? To get that right. Okay. Here's another great example of a landscape. Got a lot of green down here, but this is Yellowstone. And we've got the beginnings of our picture. Oh, there's a lot of green in there. So, darn. That's the problem with landscapes and green screens. All right, let's look at a couple from our, maybe, oh wait, I got one more travel poster maybe. It's a good one. One more travel poster. Okay, guys, this is Mount Rushmore. Look, there's our reference image. Did a great job of tracing some of those lines. This artist did a really nice job of putting some lettering on there. That's tricky. And down here you can see they're keeping track of their markers that they're using. So each marker has like a 3 or 4 digit code on it. And so that way they can find it again when they come back if they need it. Okay. So that's the travel posters. All right, now we'll go on to the other guys. Let's see. Oh, these are great. Look at these micron drawings. Okay, this is our 6th, 7th, and 8th, 12th. We're looking for like texture, fuzzy creatures. They could make their any composition they wanted. Looks like both of these artists did like a grid and did multiple creatures. Some of our kids made bigger creatures than only one. Some did multiples. It was really wide open. Really what we're trying to teach is this kind of, it's like a cross between cross hatching and stippling, which are 2 techniques that we do in pen and ink drawing. Here's another good one. Look at how great that texture looks. Now this artist obviously is using a different pen than the first one I just showed you. We've got a much thinner pen. It almost looks like maybe this pen is done like in gray instead of in black. Still a black ink. It's just, it's so skinny. We have a lot of white paper showing through. And so it tends to look gray. So that's how we create that grayscale look. All right, I feel better now. We're on track, and I have shown you some things. So our creative explorations, kiddos, just like our preschool guys, this is your last class of so this week is the last class of November. When we get to the next section of this video, we go to housekeeping and we talk through the open studios for Thanksgiving week. We're not talking about you guys. You don't need to worry about that. You're going to wrap up all your classes this week, okay? So this is our last time that we're going to do these stations. Most popular ones have still been the Sumi ink and the glass pens, which we love. And then you can see this artist here, he's making painted paper. So we've got some texture tools, some what we call odd painting tools, foam rollers and printing and stamping things to create texture on paper. And then we've been cutting that paper up and making collage. So same thing as our preschoolers, if you watch that section of the video, kind of a throw to Henry Matisse and Eric Carle. Okay, drawing 101. I gotta grab, this is a big pile here. Pull this over. So our Drawing 101 kiddos have been doing food-based lessons. We did recipes week 1, and then in last week's class in week 2, we did some still life. That's where we put something on the table and we use our powers of observation to draw it. It's a great way to train our brain and our eye and our hand all work together. Got a little bit of green going on there, but look at this. This is done in chalk pastel. Can you see how three-dimensional that is? That's amazing. All right. You can see like our little lesson label is there, and then there's our fruit still life. I need to be really careful with people's books and drawings. Set that down there. I think that's my only fruit still life example from 101. I'm double checking. This looks like 102. So For our 101s this week, we're going to be doing an Andy Warhol lesson. So we've got our soup cans, the Campbell soup cans. For those of you guys who are familiar with the art of Andy Warhol, one of his most famous pieces of art is the Campbell soup can kind of collection. So we're gonna make some Campbell soup can art as a illustrative way to look at Andy Warhol. And since Warhol was a printmaker, I don't know if you know this, but those are silk screens that he used in order to make those canvases. We are also going to print ours. So we're going to be drawing on printing foam, like our soup cans, and then printing it into the book. So if you are like looking for a new and novel way to use drawing skills, printing's a great way to do that. So it's just a fun thing to do right before Thanksgiving. All right, 102s. I'm going to do realistic first, even though Grace has my illustrative people here first. But oh, wait, what is this? This one says 101 too. Hang on, here's another 101 fruit still life. All right, here's 102. So 102 also did a still life. So I want to show you some of theirs. They put a pumpkin, it looks like, in their still life. This one here is also this picture right here. That one's also 102. That was a makeup night, so I was there. I didn't put a pumpkin in it. But look, we're looking at when we do a still life with our 102ers, we're looking for them to get the relative positioning, the relative size, and then to really nail the value. So that's how light or dark something is, and the hue. So to notice color and reflections that happen in color, not just reflections of light and dark, to notice texture and to be able to render that. So it's really just a great exercise for our brains. So here's a couple examples for 102 Advanced Realistic with chalk pastels. This week in our 102 Advanced Realistic, we are going to be doing the Andy Warhol lesson that 101s are doing. So we're going to look at soup cans. We're going to draw them. So powers of observation and all those things. We're going to use a little bit of creativity in how we draw it, because what we're drawing on is not something we can draw a lot of detail on. We're drawing on printing foam, and then we're going to print our drawings just like Warhol did. So that's what we have going on there. For our illustrators, this is one of our illustrative classes. I got to get out my notes because it's not one of the classes I teach, so my notes. Our illustrative has been working on stretching their style through drawing plant life and animals, and this week they're going to be doing original characters. So I want to show you some examples. So this is some of our kind of plant life. Some of our plants are characters in our story, and some of our plants end up being just environment. So we looked at different stylized choices for doing those. Let's see if there's another page. Oh, there's one more. And we worked on different concepts for the plants. So there's one. Let's see if I got, I think, one more book down here for plants to show you. Yep. Those are cute. So this right here, we look at something that's very clip arty, right? So not a character necessarily, more like an icon. And then up here, we've got one that maybe looks a little bit more like a character. Again, another one that's more iconic. So lots of different ways to illustrate the plants and the natural world around us. Ooh, one more. We can tell a very different illustrative style here for this artist, right? I love some of them. They have such movement in them. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna close these up and put them down. This week in our lessons, we're going to do similar, like stylizing, but we're going to do it with our original character. So for a lot of our artists, we have original characters already. They come to us with a character, or they've been working on fleshing one out in our lessons or in wildcard weeks. So they're going to look at their OCs and they're going to start stretching themselves and thinking, well, how else could this be represented? Because sometimes the first answer isn't the best answer. So we're just going to play around with different style choices for our original character. I I think that's it. Go to the next one. All right, for our 103, illustrative kiddos have been looking at the art of Liechtenstein, and their job was to do one of their characters in a close-up portrait with onomatopoeia in the background. So this is a great example. This artist is really far along. Here's another good example. Okay, this one did a really good job on their line weight. I don't think they're done with it, but got a great job on line weight. We got a little bit of text space, a little bit of really kind of trying to push them out of their style. So good stuff there. They will hopefully finish this week and be able to map those and take them home. If they don't, we'll work with them. They can either do it during the open studio, they can come in a little bit later, a little bit earlier, they can come in for makeups, all that stuff. So our realistic kiddos, which is what these are pictured here, are doing animal portraits. So we're looking for texture with our chalk pastels. Oh, here's the photo reference. A lot of green in this photo reference, but hopefully you can see it. He's so fuzzy. Oh, man. Here's another photo reference, and then art that our person is working on. So this is like a pet. So we have pet and animals kind of around. Let's see what else we got. Oh, a couple different pieces here of this little puppy. So we're hoping our artists will be able to finish this week. We'll get these sprayed with a fixative because it is chalk pastels, and be able to send them home. If they don't finish, it's okay. We will work with them either in their open studios, in their makeups, or in some other time, whatever works for your schedule. I know we had a lot of absences, especially, I don't know about Platwoods, but I know Liberty did last week. It's musical and fall play season at the high schools. So for all of our kids who are performing Break a Leg, or not just the high schools, but the middle schools too, we're so proud of you. And we love our multi-talented artists. So if you missed class because you got rehearsal or you got show times, like, we get it. We'll be here. We'll figure it out when you get back. Okay. All right. Last couple things. Let's go through some housekeeping. So we do need to talk about next week, which is our Thanksgiving week schedule. So we have some open studios. Oh, wait, let's move over and look at the calendar, right? So we're here. We're on the 17th through the 21st. That's our week. On the 24th and the 25th, our drawing students and our multimedia students have some open studios for your fourth class of the month. Now, this is how you're going to sign up. You're going to click the link either in the email, in the private Facebook group. Those are the only places I think that you can get it. So you're going to click the link. It's going to open this PDF, which has all the open studio times on it. Pick which one works best for you and just click it and register. It's a $0 Sawyer listing that's like kind of hidden off the website. So that's why I embedded it in a PDF. It's because I need a quick way to send it to you, and this was a good way to do it. But I don't want to put it live on the site for everybody. It's because it's only for you guys. So you can click that and you can sign up. That helps us so that when we get to that night, we have an accurate roster. One, I like to know how many people I have, because if I have 17 people coming or if I have 4 people coming, I might adjust some staffing a little bit. I also like to know, because when your kids are in the building with me, it's really important to me that I know who I have, and like I have emergency contact info and I have all that stuff. So especially because you're coming on nights when maybe your instructor may not be there, we just want to make sure that we know who's in the building. So do register for that. We'd love to see you. If you can't make it, it's okay. You shouldn't need a makeup for the open studio itself. If you need a makeup for your project, then sign up for that. But like, if you finish your project and you're out of town for open studio, that's why we do it this way. So I don't have 70 people that need to make up a class, which, this is what 11 years in business will teach you. That doesn't work really well. So if you finish your project, you don't need to make up the open studio. Okay. As a matter of fact, you really can't, because we're not going to set up these stations again. We are going to throw paint at the wall. We're going to have some creative stations set up. It's just time for community and creating. Okay. All right. For our house, like the other things we need to talk about, we got to talk about the semester registration. So it goes live to the public December 1st. We're going to right? But I got to get you guys your spots like filled before I put it live because I don't want you to lose out on your spot in class, especially for those of you that have full classes. So your early registration links are going to go out today. I'll finish this video. I'll clean up my mess. I'll check in with the team here in Liberty who's doing homeschool classes today, and then I'm going to go like sit in a coffee shop and just send links out to people. So you will get your link today. It'll come to the same email where you get this video, the same email that you use to register, the primary one that we have on record for your artist. Okay, so those will go out. And there will be all this information in the email. It's not just like a link. Like pretty much everything I talk about here is going to be in that email as well. But not everybody likes to get their information through reading text. Maybe some people like to listen to me. Some people, like to read. That's fine too. Everybody gets their information differently. So they're going to go out today. Make sure that you watch your inbox for that. Everyone has to re-enroll. You do not have a registration that carries over to January. It ends in December. Everybody does. All right. Everybody has to re-enroll. Couple other notes. It's not a repeat. So we don't repeat classes in the next semester. It's a continuation. For our multimedia people, we've done 4 media by the time we get to the end of December, right? With the chalk, pastel, clay, ink, and watercolors. The next semester is acrylic, printmaking, mixed media, fiber, and metals. So it's brand new media and brand new projects. If you're in a drawing class, the lessons continue throughout the rest of the semester. Okay, so they just continue to build on each other. And we do a repeat of benchmarks in April, just to be able to compare. If you were with us in September, let's see where we're at in April. But other than that, they're not repeated lessons. Okay, so they are a continuation. Preschool classes, same thing. Creative explorations classes, same thing. It's all new stuff. It's not what we just did. Okay. Prices did not go up. We set our prices sometime in the summer and we leave them for the entire year. So it may look like it went up. And the reason is because the spring semester is 5 months. So if you're looking at the semester rate, you're like, I don't remember paying that much in the fall. That's because in the fall it was 4 months. So the price did not go up. It's just longer. That's all. Okay. Early links are gonna expire on Wednesday. Not this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That'll be the last time that I work until I get back into town late Saturday, and then I'll probably dial on and I'll work on Sunday and all that stuff. But I'm taking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, most of the day off. Okay. So if you need help with your registration and all that fun stuff, this is the deadline to get in touch with me. I will just shut them off at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay. They will not be available. Okay. Then you have to wait. So you'll click the link and nothing will happen. It might just open up a blank Sawyer registration page, or it might open something that says waitlist. I can't remember how it works, but it will not work. And then you'll have to wait until December 1st at 9 a.m. when the links go public. Okay, that's how that works. All right. So let's talk through holiday classes. Or no, we're not going to talk through them. I'm just going to let you know that they're open and they're filling. So especially the winter break in Liberty. That one I think is the closest to being full. So if you're interested in those, make sure you get signed up. All right, that's it. If anyone has questions for registration, well, okay, if you have questions about Thanksgiving week open studios, let me know. All right, you have until we're not going to close them down. There's no deadline. You can sign up 2 seconds before you walk in the door. I'll leave them open. But do make sure that you get signed up for those as you know your schedule. And then spring semester stuff, we pretty much have 9 days. Okay, I'll get the link out, then you have 9 days. So if you're you need a different link, you need to switch classes, anything, finances are tight and you want to talk to me about alternative billing, reach out. Okay, we got 9 days to figure it out before things go live. But I am happy to chat with you about that. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Have a wonderful week, you guys, and I will see you in the studio.